Hey guys, welcome back to another impressions video. This time with my, I guess, newest toy in my collection, the PlayStation 4. And yeah, I wasn't sure if I was gonna purchase one when it first came out, but I decided to get one because of a great promotion that I got through a new credit card that I opened. So basically, I got the PlayStation 4 for under $300. And I'm gonna be completely honest. Out of the launch lineup of games, there was only one game that I was willing to pay $60, full price, and that game was Battlefield 4. And mainly because I'm a huge Battlefield fan, and I already have a video with my impressions or rant, if you will, because the game is full of glitches and bugs that they just make up for a pretty miserable experience so far. But as far as the other games like Killzone Shadowfall, Knack, I'm not interested in those games. Not enough to pay $60 full price for them. So I'm gonna wait until they drop in price. So again, I figured, there's no way in hell the PlayStation 4 is gonna drop in price within the next year or two even. So might as well get one now, get advantage of that promotion, and I'm enjoying the hardware itself. It's pretty good, but I do have to say that most of the videos that I watched here on YouTube, they have nothing but good things to say about the system. And my experience so far has been a little bit bittersweet, if you will, in the sense that there's only one game that I was really interested in, and that one game doesn't really work properly, which is Battlefield 4. So I'm pretty much stuck with a PS4 with no major games for it. Although I do have to say, since I'm a PlayStation Plus member, I was able to download a Resogun and Contrast for free. And I do have to say that Resogun especially impressed me. It's essentially a shooter in the same vein as, say, Nano Assault Neo for the Wii U, which I also purchased on day one for that system, and it's really fun. The graphics are actually really impressive, despite the game being somewhat simplistic. The particle effects are amazing. It somewhat reminds me of Geometry Wars. It had a very modern and colorful graphics going on. And so Resogun, I have to say that so far is my favorite PlayStation 4 game. And the other game, Contrast, is not very good. It's basically a 3D platformer with a very unique art direction, but it's pretty janky, and it feels like a below average PlayStation 2 era platformer. Not graphically, because the game does look pretty good, and the game does have a really interesting art direction, but as far as the controls and the gameplay and the physics, it really falls behind. But the game being free, I can't really complain. So that's my overview of the 3 games that I have so far. If you want to check my Battlefield 4 video, feel free to do that. It's pretty much a rant video because the game doesn't work as I was hoping. But that's it for the games. I'm not really interested in anything else. So unless I get Killzone or Knack for a really good price, I'm not seeing myself purchasing those games in the foreseeable future. So anyways, let's just talk about the hardware. And again, a lot of people seem to be extremely happy with their purchase of the PlayStation 4. It seems to be pretty reliable. The system has sold already over 1 million units, and I think only 1% of faulty units were reported so far. But as far as the system, in my opinion, it doesn't look that good. Again, most people seem to really love the system, not me. But I don't hate it either. It's just I don't know, about the design is a little bit odd, the shape is a little bit odd, and in my opinion, it's always fun to look at consoles because the physical look of a console, it's part of the soul of the system itself, and the PlayStation 4 doesn't really do a whole lot for me. I really like the light that comes on when you turn the system on, but other than that, the system, in my opinion, is not very good looking. But as far as the performance, I guess we can talk about the user interface, the UI. and it's a big improvement over the cross media bar of the PlayStation 3 in terms of performance. The PlayStation 4 obviously is a much more powerful system. It has 8 gigs of RAM, and it can handle that user interface with no sweat. It's extremely smooth, and they make this new user interface a little bit more, I guess, user-friendly. It's easier to navigate. It's simpler to use. But I do have to say that I prefer the look and the organization of the cross-media bar better. So I'm torn on the user interface for the PlayStation 4. On one side, it's faster, smoother, but on the other hand, I think the cross-media bar from the PlayStation 3 looked better. Not to mention that the PlayStation 3 allows for customizable themes, whereas the PlayStation 4 doesn't, at least not yet. So that's the user interface. Also, regarding the hardware, I do have to say that this system is loud as hell, and I know I watch a lot of videos of people saying that the system is very quiet, so I'm not sure if I have a faulty unit or maybe it's a little bit too enclosed in my, right there in the back in my home theater furniture or whatever it is. But on the same furniture right there, I have my fat PlayStation 3, the original model, which it's one of the loudest. People consider it one of the loudest consoles out there, and my PS3 is quieter than my PS4. The PS4 for the most part runs quiet, but after about half an hour, 40 minutes of use, it becomes really loud. Like, it's the loudest system I've ever played with. So I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a faulty unit that I have. Hopefully not, because I'm not ready for that. But the system, it becomes really loud. All the fans kick in about 30 to 40 minutes into the gameplay. So that's not good in my opinion. So that's another I guess negative that I found with the system. Now, as far as the controller goes, again, this is something that most people are in love with, the new DualShock controller, and I do have to agree, for the most part, this is a really good controller. I do have some minor gripes with the controller. The thumbsticks, in my opinion, they would have felt better if the diameter of the layout was a little bit bigger. I like the DualShock 3. I think that the diameter of the sticks it's a little bit bigger, which is good for me because I have big hands and a big thumb. And let me just get rid of this box, put it down here. So a greater diameter would have been nicer or more comfortable for me. Another minor gripe that I have is that the share and option buttons are a little bit small and hard to reach. But maybe that's just me, still getting used to the controller itself. And the two major gripes that I have with the controller, those first two are kind of minor, but the two main gripes that I have is that they changed the USB rechargeable size. Now it's a micro USB slot, I guess. So I'm not able to use my PS3 charging cables, which are like very, very long. So this one is really small and it feels like really flanky, feels like very, very fragile. I get the feeling that with a lot of usage it may go bad, but hopefully that's not the case. And another complaint, or somewhat big complaint that I have, is the rumble feature of the controller. I don't know if the games that I played don't implement the rumble feature that well, but coming from Battlefield 3 on the PlayStation 3, I think the rumble level is more immersive, especially for shooters. Whereas the PlayStation 4, which again I only have one major title, which is Battlefield 4, the rumble doesn't feel as immersive and realistic, if you will. And that's actually one of my favorite features of the DualShock 3. The rumble motor that they have is really, really good. So I don't know if the developers of Battlefield 4 dropped the ball, and they just didn't put a whole lot of effort or time into the rumble features of the game. But I do feel like the rumble in the DualShock 3 so far for me feels a little bit better. But other than that, I mean, nothing but positive things to say about the controller. I really like the D-pad. In my opinion, it's an improvement over the DualShock 3. Biggest improvement are the triggers, which have this trigger shape really, and it's really comfortable to just rest your fingers on top of them. Also, the speaker quality of the controller is really impressive. I was playing Resogun, and you get voice commands given to you via the controller speakers. In fact, I didn't even know that the controller had a speaker built into it, so that's really cool. It also comes with a headphone jack here, so you can plug the headset that comes with the system, so you can communicate with other players. So overall, a great controller, a big improvement over the original DualShock 3, but again, I do have some minor gripes that I already mentioned. So that's for the controller. Now, as far as the online features, everything is much improved. Obviously, now you have to be a PlayStation Plus subscriber to be able to play online games, but I think that's a positive because the benefits of being a Plus member, I think, are worth the $50 a year. So I know a lot of people are upset, regarding that decision, but I've been a Plus member for quite some time, and I don't mind paying $50 a year. I think it's very well worth it, especially considering that I have a Vita, I have a PlayStation 3, and now I have a PlayStation 4, so I do get a lot of free games or pretty good discounts. New features that I really like about the PlayStation 4 are the party chat, which it's a feature that was already available in the 360 when it launched, last generation, if you will. So the PS3 they were never able to implement that. Now the PlayStation 4 has that party chat feature, and it works remarkably well. You can be chatting with friends while they're playing different games, and it's good to catch up, especially for me, since I have a lot of friends, in South America, where I'm originally from, so I can play catch up with them, chat about our things and stuff, and it works really well. So yeah, overall, I think the PlayStation 4 it's a very solid system. But unfortunately, like I said, for me, so far it's been a little bit of a bittersweet experience, considering that Battlefield 4 was the only game that I was looking forward to, and the game so far hasn't been fixed fully. The online is broken. The game has a couple glitches that corrupt your data. So I'm really stuck with a PlayStation 4 console here with not a whole lot else to play with. But that's fine. I have my PlayStation 3 backlog is huge. I have a couple Wii U games that I'm trying to finish, so I can wait. I can definitely wait, and I don't regret my purchase. I mean, I got it for a really good price. And considering the success of the system, which already sold 1 million units in 24 hours here in North America, I think it's very unlikely that the system is going to drop down in price. So I think it was a smart move for me to get the system, even though there isn't much out there that interests me right now. Oddly enough, the other two games that interested me somewhat were Watch Dogs and Drive Club, which both got delayed. So it's Battlefield 4 for me all the way up until they release Watch Dogs or Infamous Second Son. I think those are the two games that I'm the most excited about. So yeah, the PlayStation 4, solid console, solid system. The perfect complement to my Wii U. I think I'm set for next generation. I'm not really interested in the Xbox One. I just don't have the money nor the time to buy a new system with more games. So I think I'm pretty much set for this next generation with the I have a Wii U, PlayStation 4, 3DS, PlayStation Vita, and I'm still planning on playing my PlayStation 3. I have so many games for it that I guess we'll see what happens. As long as they keep releasing games, I think I'm gonna be playing the PlayStation 3. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.